can see that innovation really takes a lot of collaboration and partnerships across different sectors, and which is exactly what we're here to talk about. The innovators, the startups, we'll talk about it on the private sector side, but here we are seated here to discuss about innovation in the public and corporate sector. And so I'm going to begin with Regis, if you allow, but maybe very briefly, if you can just very briefly tell us who you are and what you do so that our audience can familiarize themselves with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. My name is Regis Rugemashuro, CEO of Rwanda Social Security Board. We manage 6 schemes from pension to healthcare, long-term savings, and portfolio over $1.7 billion, 38 equities. Happy to be here, so thank you.
Good afternoon. Technology always fails technology people. My name is Dr. Shiko Kitao. I'm the CEO of Kala. We are Digital Innovation Lab. Our goal is to catalyze Africa's digital future, and it's a pleasure to be speaking at this panel. Thank you.
My name is Roger Mizero. I work at the Ministry of Environment and at the Ministry of Emergency Management as a Chief Digital Officer. So what we do is we drive digital transformation in our sector. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So, Regis, back to you now. RSSB has embarked on a new journey to become a member-first, data-driven, and high-performing organization. Can you talk to us about this? What does this mean for the general public, for the average citizen, and what technology capabilities are you setting in place to enable you to do this?
Thank you. It is indeed true that RSSB has been on a journey for transformation, and our current strategy our motto is to become a member-first, data-driven, and high-performing institution. Member-first because everything we do is for the members, right in the middle and center of what we do. Data-driven because decision-making has to be timely and accurate, and high-performing because anything less is just not acceptable. And you as our members, we owe you just that. So technology is very important for us in helping us gain some efficiencies, whether internally, but also delivering value to our members. Historically, and just maybe to give you the picture of the scale, 90% of the invoices processed across the country for your pharmacy, your doctor, clinic, hospital is paid by RSSB. CBHI, or Mutuelle de Santé, as we call it, is about 90% of the population. And RSSB in size is more than 10% of the GDP, about 38 equities. So to tell you, any inefficiencies at any point throughout our ecosystem hinders value creation. So we have been working very hard to automate a lot of the processes, to automate our value chain from all our ecosystem. And that will help us not only serve our members better and faster, but also to be able to react to the changing environment that we live in with different global macro events happening, whether we're dealing with a pandemic, whether we're dealing with a change in how we manage the healthcare system, or whether we're dealing with inflation throughout our different ecosystem. So this presents a huge opportunity for the local innovators, entrepreneurs in general. There's a lot of problems to be solved, and I can't be prouder and more privileged to be part of this journey and to see those who are going to be presenting, but also looking forward to see how we can expose the CEOs and the innovators in our companies. That's around $600 million at stake, to tell you. Solving big problems for very important people, our members, and so there's a lot at stake for us, and being a part of the environment like this, and we have some of the CEOs of our companies also here present, and just seeing what's possible, being done locally, but also opportunity to co-create and to believe in ourselves. I think just thanking the organizers, this also builds up confidence in our own ecosystem. So thank you for doing this. And us as a corporate side, we're very excited and look forward to leveraging the skills and the talent of what's being presented today. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you hear what he said? He said he serves everyone, and your members are all very important persons. So if you've ever wanted to be treated or feel like a VIP, there you go. To Regis, you're a VIP. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes. And so one key thing you said, automating value chains and processes to deliver value, and anything less is unacceptable. Please note that down. Thank you. Dr. Shiko, coming over to you. This topic we're talking about, can you tell us what's the importance of corporate innovation and the linkage between the corporates and the startups for this?
So Africa is the youngest continent in the world. On average, somebody was saying Japan is about 48 years old. Africa, we are 17. So if there's a corporate out there, they have to note that the average customer demographic is a 17-year-old. How are you serving them without understanding them? Because, I mean, having come from corporate, there's a very bureaucratic way of looking at things, and we are always stuck at that. What we need to do as corporate is look at our 17-year-old. I call them the Cocomelon generation, and how you're serving them, how you're getting money from them, how you're giving them value. And they're the instant generation. They're used to tapping a video and getting YouTube on demand. They're not waiting for next week to watch something on TV. Everything is on demand for them. And most corporates have not been built to serve them. So corporate innovation is important because it's putting the customer, the 17-year-old customer, at the center of the strategy. That is not something many corporates want to do. They want to look at the 45-year-old who has liquidity and can buy things. But you have to always look at the future, because this 17-year-old is not going to change much in their expectation of you. I love what he said. They want instant, seamless, great value. They want it to be, the user experience has to be smooth, such that it's thoughtless completely for them. And if you're not delivering this for them at 17, you lose them as a customer at 45. So, and they're the ones who have the biggest influence in spend, because they're the children of the 45-year-olds. So corporate innovation is good because it's putting the customer at the center. The second thing is the world is changing. Yeah? There's a saying by Satya Nadella that says that software is eating the world. Yeah? And no matter what industry you are in, software is going to eat you. Do you want to be part of the menu, or do you want to be on the table? So what corporate innovation, it determines on who you are. Are you going to be on the menu? That software is going to eat you, or are you going to determine what is going to be eaten? So what corporate innovation is doing is bringing these methodologies of agility, and not just agile methodology and doing stand-ups and on all these things that corporates want to do in what I call innovation circus. It is actually having an agile mindset and mentality in how you approach things. Approaching these things from a point of we will fail. We will spend money that we will lose. But we know if we spend 3 to 4, 5 years, that the returns at that time will be great. It's about investing in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shiko. I like what she said, Cocomelon generation?
Yes.
Great. So the Cocomelon generation here feels represented, I hope. I know that popularly they're also referred to as the microwave generation, but I believe every one of us here is a microwave generation because we want everything now and I want it here. Yeah. And so this is great what you're talking about. Roger, I'm coming to you. CDO, Chief Digital Officer, what does this mean, and particularly to your sector, to the environment sector, what does that mean, what does that look like for our audience here to understand?
Thank you, Alice. CDO role or CDO office is a new structure, close to 2 years since we started. So the key role of a CDO is to drive digital transformation within our respective sectors. And why is that important? When you look at the old approach of ICT in the public sector, is we went minimal on ICT. So long as I have internet, so long as I have a good computer, I can send emails. That was it for everyone. But we have challenges like climate change. How do you tackle that with ICT? From the strategy level to implementation. We have issues to do with service delivery. How do you tackle that? So digital transformation That's where we come in as CDOs, and we work with our respective sectors, to come up with ways to use ICT as an enabler to drive, to achieve what we want to achieve as, as the sector.
Wonderful. So really what you do is implementing what these two are talking about. Fantastic. Okay, so Regis, I'll come back to you. In the room, we have a number of startups and young innovators and from the ecosystem. How can these young people work with RSSB to implement some of their solutions or to just problem solve for our society?
Thank you. Thank you very much. So for those who are here, innovators, entrepreneurs, and those who are thinking about it, RSSB and all our ecosystem of 38 companies were open. A part of this partnership, RSSB has committed to not only the finance side, but also to open our extensive network to the innovators and the entrepreneurs to meet with the CEOs, the CDOs of the companies, to discuss problems we had. There's so many problems we have, and where there's a problem, there's an opportunity. So that will be following up. And our doors are open, always. So it's not a matter of a formal framework that is in place. Our doors are always open to new ideas. And as a member, you are concerned and impacted by what we do. If some of the things we do, whether from one of our companies or directly by RSSB, you're not happy about and you have a solution to it, come to us. We'll always be open to try it, as long as it adds value. If it helps solve the problem you personally have, which is probably not the only one, for sure, we'll be able to scale it. Number two, I would like to highlight the fact that as a part of that commitment, RSSB has, over the recent years, started investing in opportunities that support such innovators. We've started a $250 million fund with QIA, which is a Pan-African fund. We're still looking for opportunities across Africa, particularly here in Rwanda. We recently, I saw the CEO of Catapult here as well. We just recently invested $500,000 in Catapult, and there will be more to come to support local innovators, and there will be more of those initiatives. The idea is to support those who are trying. And as I close this question, I want to congratulate not only the winners, but also those who participated. Daring to try is already winning. So continue to try. You'll fail forward. Just never give up. As long as there's a problem, there's an opportunity. And if it serves the members, you can come to us and we'll be happy to look at it. We've set up teams of innovation in our environment to pay particular attention to that. We don't want to recreate to reinvent the wheel. So if you come to us with an idea that works, you can be reassured we will support it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Startups, I hope you have heard that and you have noted it down. There are so many support instruments and programs that are available to you. So if you want to grab Regis at the end of this, please do find him. Do not let him go and get more information from him as much as you can. So Dr. Shiko, coming back to you, can you share with us what is, for any public institution that's sitting in this room that wants to really be innovative, what are some key ingredients that they must have in consideration, and what can also startups what advice can you give to startups that want to work with public institutions such as RSSB and any other that's seated in the room?
So the key ingredients to being more innovative is your people. And there's lots of research that have been done about this. Innovation starts and ends with people. So it starts with the mindset of the people and getting people excited about this, yeah? And that means starting with top buy-in from like your top leadership, but getting even the people, your customers, support people who interact with your customers on the ground, getting excited about this. Because what happens sometimes, it's a top-down approach. The CEO is excited about this, but it dies in middle management. But if you can sell it down the value chain, then you get excited. So we try and encourage it to be people first. And then number two is, I've said it before, put your customer at the center, yeah? And that means sometimes it will not have immediate monetary returns. It will have monetary returns down the road. So that's number two. And number three, be patient. I know we talk about innovation, we see the light bulb moment. All our innovation things have like a light bulb. It never works that way. I mean, that's being honest. I've been doing innovation for many, many years. Innovation is a patient game because yes, you'll have that light bulb moment, but for it to come to life, It takes time, effort, selling it, people buying into it, people investing into it, and people then scaling it up. So those are the key ingredients, just patience, your people, and putting the customer at the center of it. The other thing I'd love to give, and borrowing from what he said, is corporates have to be able to embrace risk. Fail fast, fail forward. That is something many corporates don't want. They have their quarterly KPIs they have to meet, financial returns. I know he's talking about the CEO, but at the end of the year, the board will ask, what are our returns this year? You have to convince your board that we are investing in something that will not have a return this year or next year, but in 2 to 3 years' time will have a return. It's being confident enough in saying that we are doing this and we are doing it with the right reason at heart. What can startups do? So I think it is what can startups do and what can corporates do. So we've done this in other countries, and what we hear from startups is when we go to corporates, they don't understand us, they steal our ideas, they have all these things. You have to understand that corporates have the muscle to scale you. Yeah? So first of all, be kind to yourself, protect your idea. Get an IP lawyer, get it copyrighted before you go to a corporate. Protect it, number one. But also be very conscious. Ideas are as good as the cell in the brain that it came from. Execution is king. And many startup founders, I talk to hundreds of them, they die, okay, they don't die physically, the ideas die inside of them because they want to protect it, they don't want to share it because somebody will steal it. Somebody cannot steal execution. They can steal your idea, but they will not execute it as well as you as the visionary. So be open up for somebody to stealing your idea because execution is king. So when you're going confidence to these corporates. Number 3, go with confidence in showing this is the value. Most startups don't do their homework when they are going to corporates. They just show up, I have this great idea. Do your homework about the organization. Let's take them. They are social benefits organization. Do your homework about social benefits now and in the future. Show them what's the value that we are adding to your customers and to your bottom line. Then this is our idea. They will buy into it. We have corporates that have gone to commercialization with startups because that value was very clear, because the startups actually offered that value and did their homework. Number 3, just know that there are human beings on the other side of the table. You know, sometimes when you see him CEO of RSSB, we fear him, but he is human, yeah? No? You see he's smiling like us. So remember, it's a human being at the other side of the table, and approach it from that point of view. They have their fears, they have their ambition, so talk to the people's own yearnings and beliefs. Yeah, because sometimes we go there with our own, without understanding that the other person on the other side of the table is a human being as much as you. Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. How brilliant was that? So startups, if you feel bad, if you feel discouraged for having failed before, I think you found your encouragement there. And if you feared this guy here and others in the room, just know they're flesh and blood like you, okay? And I like what you said about making sure that the leaders are ensuring that innovation is part of the DNA of the organization, that everyone understands it's the same way. Sometimes we treat some people that are like, oh, that's fleet management, it doesn't matter. These guys are logistics, it doesn't matter. So we have this particular group that has to understand innovation. No, everyone needs to buy into it. I like what you said about that. Investing in your people internally and also putting people first that you're designing for, and everything else you've said. Brilliant. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to quickly rush through. Roger, lastly coming to you. Can you talk to us about any exciting solution, digital technology you've applied in the environment sector that we can learn from?
Thank you very much. When we talk about environment sector and disaster management, this is 2 ministries. And when you look at the mandate, you see that we have environment management and safeguarding. We have, natural resource management. We have disaster risk reduction, mitigation, prevention. So digitization or digital transformation means a lot for us. So we are talking about remote sensing technologies combined with artificial intelligence to tackle issues to do with environment monitoring. How do you monitor our environment using such technologies? We are talking about how do you model disasters, let's say floods, droughts. Lately they are coming. How do you monitor those? We are talking about, technologies such as blockchain to bring transparency in the natural resource management value chain. How do you, add value to forestry, to mining, to land transactions? So all those are key issues that we are facing and we are trying to solve using technology. And you talked about what kind of solution are we trying to do? Some of them, I'll talk about one or two. We are trying to combine blockchain to solve issues to do with land transfers, fast land transfer, whereby we want to, reduce paper. We want to have zero trip, zero paper to have, land services. We are using IoT to do environment air quality monitoring, where we install sensors around and try to, see the status of our air, and also from there we make good decision. So there is a bunch of other technologies, other solutions, but I invite the entrepreneurs, as she said, do your homework, then come, we work together, we solve these problems.
Fantastic. You have heard it here. Do your homework and then come look for these guys, all right? Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to thank the panelists for their time.